Once you've gone past dynamic state, you do not reincarnate. What is the reason for reincarnation? Because reincarnation brings you back to now you're living by memories. Something has happened, something was meant to happen, something didn't happen as it was meant to happen. So you come back to do it better again, right? So you will do it better again in spirituality, because that's where you would have, your life would have ended. But then once you've gone past that, there's nothing like that. Actually, there is something as well. There is no death, spiritual death in dynamic state. So where people say, I'm dying and I'm transitioning into a different way of being, or I'm dying, like where you see yourself dying in spirituality every time you go into transition. Uh, when there is something big happening in your path, you die, like seriously die, like death is who dead. So that happens only in spirituality. In the dynamic state, people don't die. Spirituality, people die and transition into something else. Like even coming into from the spiritual bit of things to go into a dynamic state of being, it's not death there. You know, like if you're waiting to die, where you can see that there is changes that are happening in your life, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna try to die and die and die as many times, but there's not gonna be the end result where you see that you're dead. There's nothing like that. So if you're going in a dynamic state, if you're still like from spirituality, you're transitioning, you're going through a shift where you're going into the thing. If you're waiting to see yourself dying first, you'll see how tough you can be. Like nothing's gonna kill you, spiritually speaking. Nothing's gonna kill you. But dynamically speaking, it is what it is. There's no death. You do not die. You do not die in your dreams. You do not die in your dreams. That's what I meant. Where we can say you died, and then we can look at it as in death, as in the end of something old, then bringing something new, right? And I'm talking about this because I'm trying to explain why there is no reincarnation in the dynamic state. When people die from dynamic state, there is no where we can say we are coming back again. We're gonna be reborn in like as an African like this. I'm gonna be reborn into someone European, or be reborn into someone Indian, or be reborn somewhere in Africa, not South, right? So there is nothing like that, because remember that the end goes actually talking about that, the entity bit of things, the identity bit of things. Uh, Remember that like identity as well. When you're in this dynamic state, you'll be worried about, oh my gosh, if this is happening to me, I mean, this is just bad, because that means how do I actually relate to? How do you put yourself? Because as well, even if you know that you're dynamic, and you're touching from think of yourself as in identify with this tribe, identify with these people, identify with this, because dynamic state identityless in the dynamic state. So then what does it mean? Does it mean that I'm actually denouncing that bit of myself, where you become like something like that, like someone without, you cannot position someone somewhere. Uh, but remember that this is just that, the dynamic state.